Now I'd like to introduce Youngsun Kim. Youngsun Kim is a physical therapist who receives his training in physical therapy from Sangmu University in Korea and earned a doctorate degree in manual physical therapy at Rocky Mountain University of Health Professions. He is currently Director of Rehab at Pamba Regional Medical Center. He is a board-certified orthopedic clinical specialist certified in neurodevelopmental treatment, and is currently a fellow in training for the American Academy of Orthopedic Manual Physical Therapy.
Everybody can hear me okay? Okay, thanks for coming. Well, the topic we're going to talk about is everything is kind of pretty heavy and kind of depressing. Mine is one of the worst one. You don't want to imagine your player fall down on the floor, neck broken. You know? So this is a heavy topic, and even preparing this presentation kind of depressed me too. So I come up with some analogy of how I can get your attention. And I think my analogy is going to be, I want to compare it to fire extinguisher. Just for fun, can you guess what could be my hobby, what do I do for fun? Well, when you guys see Asian guy like me, always think that we do computer work. Even I attend a church about 10 years, many people believe I'm an engineer. But what I really like to do is I like to do something like what the typical Americans do, mess up with my car and playing with the tools and everything. Recently, I ventured myself doing welding. You know, it feels like I'm a really man. You know, the world kind of sparks and loud noise, everything. You know, tell everybody I'm in charge. You know, but maybe I enjoy too much. One day, my wife said, "Unless you buy a fire extinguisher, you cannot do it anymore." So. And then she also mentioned that you're going to burn the whole house down or put our life in danger. Ice doesn't like those kind of comments. So I was kind of saying, why you make me think I'm trying to kill my family or something like that. But when I sit down and think about it, you know, that can be true. You know, I'm playing with the torch and then creating a lot of sparks. And guess what? Happened to be gasoline container right next to the welding machine. So I can burn whole house down. So I knew that I need to buy a fire extinguisher, and I want to compare this injury as a fire extinguisher. We all work in the hospital environment and also school environment. We do drills and fire drills and disaster plan, everything. But ironically, all the plan, like a FEMA or all kind of disaster plan happen after something happened. After Katrina hit, we got FEMA disaster plan. So I don't want you to lose the opportunity to be ready right now, other than, otherwise somebody gonna be on the floor and then you don't know what to do, you freak out, and then that's gonna make everybody look really bad. So this is an important topic. When I visit Palmdale High football game, I met Steve Wilson and Dr. Masari. Both of them share nothing scary than spinal injury and brain injury, because it causes terminal, something that cannot change. So I knew that I need to talk about it. Well, everybody tired, so a few days ago I went to Costco and I saw fire extinguisher there. Did I buy a fire extinguisher? I bought another tool. Eventually I'm gonna buy and I will do it with a fire extinguisher next to me. So hopefully I can do it. So this is very rare It doesn't happen all the time, but when it happens, that can be happen, and positive plays it can happen. You can feel your arm, you can move your arm and leg, your bowel and bladder can be changed, and your sexual function can be changed. It's devastating. So when you look at the history, if you see early 1970s to 1976, injury rate, spinal cord injury rate went up really high. And then, ironically, concussion kind of went down. So, I bought one book. This is as old as I am, but Dr. Schneider tried to analyze. They look at the videos and then try to analyze what's the cause of the problem. What they found is when players try to use the helmet as a battering weapon, they can fracture their neck. So I want to just read one line here. It's not current situation in football, but at that time he mentioned that there is probably no better experimental or research laboratory for human trauma in the world than football field of our nation. So it was pretty dangerous, and then because of this book and other research, rules been changing, and protective gears is improving, so that as you see, rule is changed 1976, and then as you see, it dropped all the way down to half. So this is a perfect example how medical profession and coaches and players and rules and then equipment developer cooperate each other to decrease the injury rate down. This is keep improving, and then most of the elements he was talking about, mechanism of injury, actually they changed the regulation now. As far as I know, I'm a Korean guy, don't know about football that much, but headbutting is not anymore, right? And cloth lining is not anymore. Cloth lining, particularly when a defense try to reach, they can stretch the brachial plexus, and also you can hit this artery around here, so it can be very dangerous technique as well. And knee to head is very common, so they recommend to tackle a little bit higher, not down there. And knee to face guard is now not banned, but we know that can cause serious injury. This is a very important diagram when you see structurally, anatomically, why head down is increase the neck fracture and then concussion as well. If you see right here, this is the first C2. C2 is right in here, and when the C2 will flexion right here, right below goes the extension. This is the back of your head, this is the front, and has a normal curvature right here. When a player goes flexion, they lose their normal curvature, which is lordosis. So this is not easy to explain to your players, so I'm going to ask you to feel what's in your neck. So get ready. I know everybody's hair is nicely done. It's time to ruin. Mine take about 20 minutes, but I will ruin it too. So everybody, but don't do it if you have a neck. You might need me or a chiropractor too. So don't do it if you have a neck pain. But basically, come on, everybody. Lift your hands up, close it right here, and then look up first, and then push it down. What do you feel? You feel kind of bouncy muscle, right? What about look forward, and then stop. Can you feel? Can you feel the difference? Somebody will know, somebody will have. Blame your body. Well, that's what it is, and let the players feel what's the difference. So they need to look up and use the shoulder to tackle. That's very important. Sorry for American football play, still the number is nobody else can beat it. But the important thing is when you look at the non-fatal injury right here, actually other sports is pretty high. Gymnastics is pretty high, right? And then ice hockey, field and track and field, lacrosse, wrestling is pretty high. And another very interesting fact is, look at the cheerleading. For the fatal injury, cheerleading is pretty high. So it's not all about football. And then even football injury is not that high, like you worry too much about it. So when we break it down, which position is high risk, defense is definitely more. Tackling is about 75 to 90% tackling activities. And then position is defensive back is about 35, unknown, linebacker, kickoff team, offensive back, kickoff return, so we can break it down. High school injury is much lower than college injury, I believe, because high school is still flexible and then they're not that fast like college level. I'm sorry if somebody doesn't agree, I'm sorry. Prevention, this is one of the biggest topics we need to discuss. First, you should familiar with the sports specific. Every sport has a different mechanism. Football, apparently, tackle is one of the worst things. Soccer, when they hit the goal post, that can be happen. And ball to head is not that much, but head to head, when they fight for the ball on the air, it can be happen. Ice hockey, when they hit the helmet on the board, it can happen. Wrestling, they hit the head on the floor, this one happens. So I don't know all the details, but you know what's the danger for your sport. So you need to know what kind of specific activity can cause this problem. Also, mechanism of injury, I just talked about it. And you need to know about safety rules and protective equipment. The problem is, unless you're familiar with your equipment, you cannot move the face mask, then it can be devastating situation. So you need to maintain equipment right away when the mud and everything is stuck here, lost there. It's hard to remove it. So that is important. Also, off-season neck strengthening exercise is recommended. This one is critical. Regular rehearsal about once a year is recommended. And then emergency action plan, including who's going to be in charge, and then you need to practice how to stabilize, how to immobilize, and how to remove any kind of treatment barrier, which is can be a helmet, can be a shoulder pad, etc. And cooperate with local emergency medical services is recommended too. Assessment. This is another one very important. You don't know, you need to call this is spine injury or not, but this is the one you need to look very closely. If somebody unconsciousness or altered level of consciousness, you gotta initiate this one. Because many of the concussion, I believe 10 to 20% comes with spinal cord injury. Next one is bilateral neurological finding. Even when I practice, if somebody complains bilateral, I need to be very careful because it's higher level. If somebody stretched the nerve right here, it can be just one side, right? But if something is messed up in the spinal level or brain level, you need to do thorough cranial nerve exam. In my practice, I need to check all the muscle strength, sensation, deep tendon reflex, and those are required because it's a higher level. So bilateral problem, you need to suspicious about spine injury management protocol. And significant, apparently, if they have a pain right here, with or without palpation, you can trigger spine injury management protocol. And obvious spinal column deformity, you gotta do it too. So one factor or combination raise the suspicion. First thing you gotta do is whole spinal injury protocol. So somebody hopefully bring some equipment. But first thing you need to do is manual stabilization. This is very effective way to stabilize. They recommend this one. Follow all the way down to paramedic. So you need to stabilize. I need to show you what is neutral power positioning because that's critical. Basically, somebody just stand up right here. This is a neutral. It's not rotating right there. If you go here, this is extension. This is flexion. So you're gonna find the neutral posture, and then you need to just hold it there. Okay, don't lose it. And that's the first tip, first thing you need to do. But there are some exceptions. If you try to be aligned, somebody fell down on the floor, head down, or neck is kind of crooked, you need to be aligned. But if players complain any pain, neurological symptom get worse, muscle spasm, airway compromise, and then expression of apprehension, you cannot fix it. You gotta use it, padding and everything. So if you forced to move it, I don't think that's been helpful. And according to this book, about 40 years ago, they recommend traction. They show all the traction machine as well, but research shows if you apply traction, you're going to damage secondary injury. So don't apply any traction motion there. Airway is, believe it or not, many of the injured player cannot breathe. So it is imperative to know how to remove the face mask. They did a lot of research. I was surprised it's more than like 20 research only about this removal of the face mask and helmet. And they recommend cordless screwdriver. That's faster, that's easier, and create less movement. But the thing is, 95% they fail. Whatever reason is, they fail to removal of the face mask. Then you need to use a backup cutting tools such as all the names over there. And few research shows trainers is the angel. It is fastest and easiest way to do it. And when you do rescue breathing, it's gotta be done very, very carefully because it can cause secondary injury. So it should be done by a most experienced trainer. And then usually we recommend head tilt, but guess what? When they tilt the head, they can have a secondary injury. So jaw thrust maneuver is preferred. Also, advanced airway management is preferred if somebody is trained. Okay, transfer immobilization. This requires a lot of people, at least 6 people to do it. And the main guy right here is stabilizing the head. You're stabilizing the head, and then everybody needs to coordinate with the numbers and everything. So this one requires a lot of practice. And cervical collar only, in some cases, actually increase the motion of the site of injury. So cervical collar, put the cervical collar on doesn't mean that patient is safe. So you gotta put the spine board, stabilize the head, immobilize the whole body. That's necessary. Transfer technique, there are 2 different techniques. This is more low roll. Low roll means player's body move like a log. So you cannot go here. Everything is coordinated to move everything together. And then this is everybody, at least 6 people need to live together. And then the one who holding the head needs to call numbers. And then it's gotta be done very gently. And then it requires a lot of cooperation. And there are some research about what's the best way to transfer when they compare low roll versus lift and slide. Low roll is cause more neck motion, so lift and slide technique is preferred, but player can fall down, head down, then low roll needs to be done. And then when you compare spine board to vacuum immobilization device, there are good research shows vacuum immobilization device is better and more comfortable, but still spine board is acceptable, low roll is acceptable. When they play football, they wear a lot of heavy protective equipment, but when something happens, there can be a barrier. So removing helmet and shoulder pad is complex and difficult, so recommend to leave. Good thing is with the football, when they leave it on, they making pretty good neutral posture. But if you have to move it, you're gonna move both or using some pad. So one of the towel folded or any kind of foam need to be ready to make alignment better. Unfortunately, with the helmet and shoulder pad, you cannot really squeeze in this collar. So is it acceptable to do just without this one? And there are research shows vacuum cervical collar is very effective. Also, it can fit with all kind of equipment there. This is important because there are two principles. If somebody has life-threatening situation, you gotta expose it, and you need to do rescue breathing and chest compression and AED as well. So you need to remove the protective equipment, but you gotta be as gentle as possible, maintain neutral alignment of cervical spine as much as you can. Ice hockey, same like football, they can maintain pretty good neutral posture, but one research shows when they do low roll, too much movement. So when they have to do low roll, they need to remove the helmet. And then lacrosse is kind of picky because that doesn't make neutral posture. So you need to use a lot of padding and everything. And then the lacrosse, it's not easy to remove the mask as well. So this is a different topic. Hope nobody played lacrosse. Emergency department, once you engage, you initiate the emergency spine protocols, you need to follow. You need to follow to the emergency department. You can convey all the information. Also, emergency staff doesn't know about protective equipment very well. So you gotta help them to remove it. In the emergency, they recommend to use CT scan versus MRI, because even in the emergency room, if they try to move it, remove the shoulder pad and helmet, they can have a secondary injury. So with all the equipment, you cannot get into the MRI. So CT scan clear, then you can remove. That's what they recommended. And lastly, for the brain injury and heart injury, I believe they recommend hypothermia, which is applying ice. They make the temperature go down. That's helpful. But for the spinal cord injury, they not clear data. And then what they do in the emergency room is very high dose of steroid, and then that's not very clear whether that helps or not. Range of motion, they need to play without the symptom, they need to have a good balance. Doesn't include here, but this one is all the list of the diagnosis, whether there are small chance to go back to play or not. My reference is here, and that ends the presentation. Thank you. Question about, am I ever going to go back to play? You gotta look at the impairment base, but important thing is basics need to be done. Like they need to get full range of motion, they need to play without the symptom, they need to have a good balance. Doesn't include here, but this one is all the list of the diagnosis, whether there are small chance to go back to play or not. My reference is here, and that ends the presentation. Thank you.